I'm feeling all this, she already know this. She want a bad man to come and video this. I'm feeling all this, she already know this. She want a bad man to come and video this. You want murder me.
Hey, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Neicy. Wow, what was that? Neicy B, baby. Don't forget the baby. Hey. Ho! Just gonna jump right into it today. I did a poll on my Instagram. If you're not following me, make sure you follow me on my social media so you can be involved in these decisions. I did do a poll and I asked which story time you guys would rather hear. One was like my emotionally abusive relationship, and then the second option was the he exposed me breakup. And of course people saw exposed and they're like, yo, what he do? Therefore exposed was chosen. So yes, if you ever want to help make a decision on what you want to see on this channel, then you have to follow me on the Instagrams. I'm sorry. This story, it serves an even more important purpose. It is to bring awareness to all of you young girls and maybe even people my age or older who are still trying to navigate themselves in relationships, still trying to learn how to prioritize themselves in relationships and protect themselves in relationships. This story has to do with the ex-boyfriend from the last story time, Devante. I think that's what I called him. Pretty sure that's what I called him. This is going to be how our breakup went, okay? I feel like in order to explain the breakup, I kind of have to explain our relationship in a sense. Devante and I have been together for like a year and a half, maybe somewhere around there, like a year and a half. Like, my mom still does love Devante and would cook for him. He'd be able to stay over at our house. His mom was pretty cool with me. Like, I'd go over, hang out, you know. I could stay over at his place. Like, that's kind of relationship we had. And it was kind of like, you know, if you saw me, you saw Devante. We had our ins and outs. We had our little arguments. We had to like work with each other to make our relationship work. And on both ends, we have both kind of done things that upset the other. I'm not gonna act like I'm so innocent and I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything to the extent of what he did in terms of like talking to other girls and stuff like that. But, you know, I have my little mishaps in our relationship as well. We had a full-fledged relationship that involved a lot of trust. So Devante was in school and he had made decisions to try and pay off school. So he got a second job. So he worked at Walmart and then he had another job in another place. He was working a lot of hours, which was cool with me, 110%. We went from seeing each other nonstop all day, every day, to like seeing each other like maybe once or twice a week. It was like even the days where he had off, he was not trying to come over. And it was even to the point where I didn't even want him awake. Like, I was proposing things like, hey, I could come over and like just chill out with you and just like relax with you. Like, you could sleep. I don't care. I just want to kind of be around you. Pretty much like Devante started doing weird things where it was like, it was blatant that he was avoiding coming over. And I don't know what the reasoning was for it. I was kind of like, okay, this is kind of weird because why don't you want to come over? After a while, I started to get tired of it. It was like, I'm like trying to go out of my way above and beyond, like even offering to come and bring you food, make you food, whatever, and you are literally ducking and dodging me. It was evident he did not care. There was a point in which Devante and I were constantly going back and forth. We were constantly arguing. I can't even remember what this argument was about. I can't even tell you guys. I just know that we had another argument. Devante came over to my place, but he said something like he couldn't stay. He just has to come pick something up for me. Devante left and I felt uncomfortable with the situation because we had an argument. That night, I had kind of been like, I'm not really feeling this. So I had gone to a party with my friends. I went out there, we had fun, we turned up. Now, this is a little sneaky on my behalf. I can make an excuse of I felt lonely, I felt neglected, I felt like the relationship wasn't even worth it anymore. But at the end of the day, this is not in my character to do this. There was this guy there. Now, I had seen this guy before at school. But this time around, I'm in a mood, I'm going out, I'm turning up, I'm having fun. So he came over and he was friends with my friend. So he was there, he came to like dance with me and whatever. And we were dancing and having fun. And listen, all the girls loved this boy. Ooh, ooh, ooh. All the girls loved him. He had locks, he was cute, dark skin. The girls were like, like they were about his life and everybody wants to talk to him. At the end of it, you know, we said our farewells or whatever, and I think my friend called me or something. Essentially, like, his friend wanted my number. And I was like, He's like, but I told him you got a man or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? Things are a little rough right now. So go ahead and swing the digits. The next day, I was pretty much to myself, look, I'm like, if this is how you're acting, you might want to try and take a break. Now, number one rule of everything for me is I don't take breaks. Breaks are not in my vocabulary. It's just not for me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't take breaks because breaks oftentimes lead to breakups. So I think at this point, I was at that awkward point where like you don't want to be with the person, but like you've been with the person so long that you know, who else are you gonna be with? Which isn't a good way to think, so that's lesson number one. If you wanna break up with someone, literally just do it. Do what's in your best interest. I went ahead and I was just kind of like, I'm just gonna go on a break with him so that I can explore other options, because clearly that's what I wanna do. So I went and I met him in person. I was like, hey, and I pretty much just told him I wanted to go on a break. Sum it up. He's like, okay, so you wanna go on a break? I said, yes. He's like, okay, that's fine, that's cool, whatever. So after we had established the break, I was free to do what I wanted. I was free to roam. I was able to go on a date with this guy, let him know like I'm on a break now, so we're good to go. And he's like, okay, but I'd like to take you on a date. I said, okay, cool, no problem. And I went on a couple more dates with him. And he was really dope. He was really cool. Pick me up. We'd go bowling. We'd go get food, whatever the case was, right? Just to clarify, one of the rules of the break was that we could date other people. So when it became evident to me that I was enjoying single life, in a sense, I decided that I was going to end the relationship. One day, it had to be January, right when I was starting school again. He was at my place, so he was gonna drop me off at the bus station to go to school. And when we got in the car, I had decided I was gonna break up with him. I let him know what was up. I said, you know what? I always care about you, like no hard feelings, but like we should probably break up because, well. And he was really upset about it, which shocked me because like he wasn't reaching out, nothing. And you know, it was a break, so I can't really expect that. But you know, sometimes people make those little gestures and he wasn't trying to, and neither was I, honestly. So really, it didn't make any sense. So the fact that he was so upset really shocked me. So he just started crying. I got out of the car and he like zoomed off, like zoom, 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 and zoomed off, and he was in tears and he was gone. Went to school, and I was minding my business. It wasn't until April, May, more May though, that started to get weird. I was literally in work mostly on weekends. That was it. People kept on being like, oh, like, did you see Devante's new girlfriend? And I'm like, no, I'm happy that he's moving on and he's well, because the last relationship he had, he took it really tough. But my main concern, even though I had broken up with him, was that he was gonna be okay. When I heard he had a girlfriend, I was happy because I was dating. I didn't have any issues. I was living my best life. I wasn't going back and forth with these niggas. So one day I was actually working during the day. This day in particular, he did come through the registers while I was working. And one of these girls that I was working with came up to me and they're like, yo, he's in the store, he's at register so-and-so. So from where I was standing, I could see him. And when he pulled up with the girlfriend, I realized I knew her. And I was like, what the hell? I'm like, isn't that? Ooh, let's call her something, Monica. So I'm like, isn't that Monica? I knew Monica from elementary school. We went on to continue to be friends in high school and then kind of fell off a little bit. And at this point I was in university. So like if I saw Monica in passing, I'd be like, hey girl, hey. And by coincidence, we had actually seen Monica that summer. She lives around his area. I was like, oh, hey, to Monica that summer. And he had been like, oh, how do you know her? Which should have been my first indication, but let's not get on that. So when I see him and Monica together, I'm just like, oh shit. I try to say hi to her. I'm like, oh, hey, Monica. She walked right past me like she never seen me a date in her life. And I'm like, oh bitch, we've known each other since elementary school. Just because you're dating my ex doesn't mean that you need to be acting up or you need to be acting like you don't know anybody. Like him and I don't have beef. You and I don't have beef. Like we know each other since time. Like we're not best buddies, but girl. So once I realized Monica's the girlfriend, I was like, oh shit. So I go to my best friend, Jenny. You guys know Jenny. Hey, girl. And I'm like, hey, Jenny, like, yo, I know this girl from elementary school. Jenny's like, what? And I'm like, yeah. And I told, like, what other girl from work? So I went to the bathroom real quick. I open up Instagram and I go to Monica's Instagram page. I was like, oh shit, okay. So Monica literally had pictures from January. When we got to broke up with him and Monica had like pictures together, hugging, matching, going around together, everything. And I'm just like, yo, my guy was crying in the car, but like, you had a whole girl. Like, I feel like we could all honestly say no shade, no tea, but it probably was a rebound relationship if we're being completely and utterly honest. After all the investigating is done and I realized, yo, this is wild. I can't remember how much time was in between this next incident. Fast forward, I don't know, like 2 weeks, maybe less than that. I was at my friend's birthday party and I get a call from Jenny, and Jenny's like, yo, have you seen DeAndre's Instagram? And I'm like, nah, like, what's up? And she's like, oh, well, you need to go check it out because he's talking some mad shit over there. And I'm like, oh. So I head over to DeAndre's Instagram and he has a picture of Monica. The caption, oh my God, I wish I had screenshotted or I wish I just had it, period. But essentially the caption was like, everybody knows that your new girl is better than your ex, saying like, you know, better things come to you and other things and all this, like pretty much trying to put me down. But I can't figure out why, because like when I tell you guys, I didn't care about this new relationship. I was like clicking my heels and shit. I was so happy because I was like, as long as he's not miserable and as long as he's happy and as long as there's no chance in hell that this guy's gonna come back for me, I don't care. Like, I'm good to go. Like, we are Gucci. The fact that he started throwing shade at me out of nowhere, I was like, oh, boo-boo, you need to calm down. So this turned into a very messy situation, and I didn't understand why he was making it that way. Like, you're already parading your girlfriend around Walmart. Okay, kudos to you. Everyone knows that you moved on real quick. I'm not doing that because I don't have a need to be bringing the people that I'm dating into the establishment, but whatever. The fact that you are doing all this is too much. So anyway, I was in a petty mood, and I responded, and I said, I find it funny how you're saying all of this, but you were the one who was driving away crying when I broke up with you. So, what up? Here's my thought process. We broke up in January. It is now May. For some reason, you have decided that May is the month to act up. And you are still talking about your ex-girlfriend. If I was dating someone and they were still talking about their ex-girlfriend, like, what is it, January, February, March, April, May, 4 months after we broke up, I feel like he and I would have to have a conversation like, yo, what up? Because she's not thinking about you, she's not talking about you, nothing, and now all of a sudden this is coming out of nowhere. His girlfriend responds to my comment. Essentially, she was like, oh, get off of his stuff, like, don't be commenting under my picture, and ray-tay-tay, and blah, blah, blah. And then I responded, I'm like, this has nothing to do with you. Like, I don't know why you're responding to me. I'm just letting him know that he's not to talk about me. Tell him not to talk about me. It turned on to a full-on Instagram war. So his best friend came along and his best friend decided to make fun of me. And essentially his best friend was kind of like, oh, keep talking shit when you stay in overdraft. I was like, oh. Then my friend came along and she's like, I find it funny how you're so hype about your new girlfriend, but you're still talking about your last. He came and finally responded to her and he's like, oh, get out of here. He's calling her all types of names which are irrelevant at this point. But for me, he had a full long message and pretty much was like, oh, go sit your broke ass down, go talk to your shrink. It was a lot. Like, he was saying a lot about me. He talked about financials, he talked about mental health, he talked about this and that. And if I'm being completely transparent, completely honest, in my third year of university, I started suffering from a lot of anxiety. And a lot of anxiety has to do with him, which I should have taken as a sign, but instead I decided to go seek mental help because I was like, this is weird. So I had a counselor, which the school provided, and I was able to go and talk to that person and overcome a lot of my anxiety, because my anxiety was just a lot. Like, I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. And if I'm being completely honest, he had deeper issues than I did. Issues he had was reflecting onto me and I was absorbing them. And that shit is so real and people need to understand that. Like, you can't take on everybody's problems. And so the fact that he commented on my mental health really pissed me off. And then financially, I didn't understand where he was coming from. I was like, okay, I'm a student, I work like, you know, minimum hours, so I'm trying. But he decided to talk about me in that way. And you could tell that he had been holding all of this stuff inside of him for a long time. And you know what? I laughed. I feel like I have been with him so long and I had seen all the things that he'd been through and he'd seen all the stuff that I was through, that once I realized that he was coming from a really hurt place and that he was just harboring a whole bunch of feelings and a whole bunch of anger and that I still could get to him, I gave him you're a joke, this is a joke, you're obviously hurt, have a nice life. The next day I found a picture and it said, men will talk down on women with the same mouths that they ate their with. I felt satisfied by putting that up. because you wanted to be a low down dirty dog and you want to sit down there and talk all this shit about me. Put that up. And as far as I knew, nothing happened. I had a friend, I will call her Sally. Let's just call her Sally. And Sally loved man. She loved attention. Any man in any shape, in any size, as long as they gave her attention, she was about that life. She was cute. Guys liked her. It was what it was. So anyways, Devante had a friend, and like maybe a year prior, I had introduced Sally to said friend. So him and Sally hit it off. They were sleeping together. Let's just sum it up. They were sleeping together. I went to the beach with Sally one day, and Sally had told me that she was still hanging out with Devante's friend. Cool. Maybe like the next day, I got a call from one of my best friends, and she was like, hey, like, can I talk to you? Are you alone? Are you good? Because I have something really important to tell you. And I said, yeah, it's fine. Go ahead. Tell me what you need to tell me. And so she was like, her cousin is good friends with Sally. And pretty much Sally had told her cousin that Devante had posted something inappropriate of me online. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna tell you guys where, I'm not gonna tell you guys what, just know it was inappropriate. So put 2 and 2 together. And so he had posted something very personal and very inappropriate of me online. Yeah, my cousin found out from Sally, and she just felt like she needed to tell you about this because like it's important that you know. And I'm like, yeah, it is, because she just didn't want to call you on her own because she doesn't know you like that. So she asked me to tell you. And I was like, yeah, no problem. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So I get off the phone and I immediately call Sally and I'm like, yo, would you believe Devante put up something of me on social media? And she was like, yeah, I knew that. Bitch, what? She openly admitted that she knew that he had put this thing up of me on social media. I was like, excuse me? And she's like, yeah, but Mark told me, Mark is the friend that she was sleeping with, not to tell you, so I didn't. So, carry the 5 minus 2. This isn't adding up. So because Mark told you not to tell me that Devante had posted something inappropriate of me online, you listen to Mark when I've known you for 5+ years. You met Mark last year because of me, and now you want to talk about, oh, Mark told you not to, so you didn't? I'm like, okay, bye. Click, hung up the phone. Did not talk to Sally from that point forward. But now it was time for me to deal with Devante. So what did I do? I picked up the phone, bring, bring, bring. His mom answered, and that's who I was looking for. I wasn't looking for Devante, yo, that guy. I wasn't looking for him anymore. I feel like I need to explain that. We were together for XYZ amount of time, and I had enough trust where I thought if we did certain things and we decided to make certain moves, it wouldn't be a problem. Like, it wouldn't be something that you hold against me whether or not we were together. You know what I mean? At this point, I was like 22. The first time I saw that there was a lot of trouble in the relationship, and the first time I saw he was being trifling, which I'm 100% sure was the last incident I discussed in my last video. I had said to him, listen, make sure you delete whatever it is that you have because I don't want you trying to use that against me. He's like, I would never do that. Well, I didn't ask you if you would ever do it. Make sure you delete it. And he looked me in my eye and said he deleted it. So I said, show me. And the folder was empty, bitch. It was empty. But Devante was tricky. And so when I found out that he put whatever he put out of me, I called up, his mom picked up the phone, and I said, can you please tell your son to stop harassing me or I will go to the police? And she's like, what are you talking about? She seemed real confused. So I said, your son has something personal of mine and he posted it on his social media. And she's like, she calls him, Devante, what do you have that she's talking about? Blah, 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 blah. Devante, what did you do? So Devante's talking about, she started it, she posted stuff about me on Twitter. First of all, when I tell you guys, I didn't have a care in the world about Devante. I didn't give a flying hoot what Devante was doing in his free time between the time I broke up with him and the time that he started stirring the pot. I kid you not, that was the case. However, Devante decided that he was going to be vicious. He didn't have a reason to really be angry at me. Like, it wasn't a messy breakup when it happened. It turned into a messy breakup. Essentially, she was trying to explain that it was on Twitter or whatever. Oh, Devante says that you've been talking about him and saying mean things about him. Why are you doing that? I'm like, he posted a personal thing, and I had to tell her what it was because this idiot really was sitting down here trying to get his mom on his side. And I said he posted that of me on his page, and she's like, Devante, why did you do that? First he's trying to deny it because he's a liar, and then afterwards he decides to give it, and he's like, you know what, yeah, I did it because she said this about me. Ask her what she put on her Instagram page. And I'm like, that compared to an actual real life thing of me is out of control. Like, you can't compare it. That's like comparing apples and oranges. There's no comparison there. Like, you're messing with people's lives. When I found out he did it, it was less of embarrassment and more of, this guy is an idiot and I'm gonna get him in so much trouble. Because what is that? Ladies and gentlemen, it's called revenge porn, and people get in a lot of trouble for shit like that. And he's lucky he deleted it, because whoever talked sense into him was the right person. How can you sit down there and put something like that on the internet? 5 months later, you just look bitter and sad. Like, what is wrong with you? So we're going back and forth, and he's like, anytime I bring Monica into the store, her little friends are peeping around the corner, and she's sending her friends to look at who I'm talking to. He ask Monica, ask Monica. I'm like, first of all, I didn't know you had a girlfriend until someone at work told me. And by coincidence, the same time they told me was the same time you walked into the store with her. So how can I be sending friends to come and look and peek and tell me things? I told mom, I'm like, I know her from elementary school. I don't need to send anybody to peek and look. And I'm like, and I don't care. So essentially we're going back and forth. My mom comes into the room. She's like, what's going on? What's going on? I'm like, he's being inappropriate. He did this and this. I don't think I ever really told my mom in detail what he put up, but I think I alluded to it and she got the idea. And she was like, oh, well, you guys just need to talk about this. And I'm just like, nah, we don't need to talk about anything. What needs to happen here is he needs to keep my name and anything else he has of me out of his mouth and out of his reach and out of his social media, and we'll be good. And like, at that point, I wasn't well educated enough on the repercussions of revenge porn, and I was so upset because I'm like, yo, this guy has everybody from work on his page, and now I have to go back to work and face these people, and they've seen things that they're not supposed to see. So I'm just like, what is wrong with you? Like, after that, I got off the phone and I was like, this guy is an actual real life walking talking piece of shit. And I want to say that was not the last time that I had to hear his friggin' mouth. But after that, I mentioned to block him on everything. I didn't already have him blocked. And his girlfriend tried to like sub me, and I was just like, listen, you're a rebound. Don't address me. Do not address me because you're a rebound. And I had to tell her that like a million times. Like, you're obviously confused. Obviously, within a couple of months, she disappeared. Well, after the whole thing with him posting online and all that stuff, it was Christmas time, and my mom like called me into her room. She's like, what are you saying about Devante? And I'm like, what? He sent me a message saying that you need to keep his name out of your mouth because his cousin is telling his family members that he cheated on you and all this stuff. I don't even talk to his cousin. So I told my mom to tell him not to address me because I didn't say anything to his cousin. That's none of my business, and I have nothing to do with that. And from there, like, I pretty much had like, he was already written off, but not as aggressively as I had written him off at this point, because how can you sit down there and subject somebody to that? It showed his immaturity a lot more than anything. My mom has tried to get me to hear him out a couple times, but personally, you know, I know in my heart that it's not that this necessarily bothers me anymore. Like, before, it used to actually enrage me. Now it's kind of like, let me share this as a life lesson. I feel like when you bruise a man's ego, they feel embarrassed. And they will literally do any and everything to get back at you. And if they have a weapon that they can use against you, something they feel like can truly hurt you, they'll use it. So don't put yourself in positions where they'll have something to use against you, which is something I had to learn, obviously. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what happened. And just the message that I feel that anyone watching this should get from this. So first thing, don't entrust them with anything too personal in terms of pictures, videos, anything like that. And two, don't allow them to have any sort of power over you. Don't allow them to get a rise out of you. Sometimes that's all they want. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So that's pretty much the story of how I was exposed by my ex, just what I learned from it and what I'm hoping that you'll get from this. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow me on social media, Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter. Hashtag support the mandem. If you've got any stories for the I Got Played series that you'd like to share, make sure you go ahead and you send them to my email or on Instagram, whichever way you choose. And I will definitely share them anonymously on my channel. As always, it's a peace, and it's a love, and it's a annyeong.
I'm feeling all this, she already know this. She want a bad man to come and video this. I'm feeling all this, she already know this. She want a bad man to come and video this. You want murder.